Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be. We are gathering for another scene with our living world of darkness set in the dark city of Zooster, where Seth Cardigan of the new pack Fireflies is Bishop Bratos over on Bishop Island. And Seth arrives fairly early, as he is eager to be there and make sure that he has a good first impression with the bishop.
The meeting place is one of the small locations in the Bishop Island Park. It's a peaceful area, and it appears there's a very tall gentleman with a... Well, if Seth is a perceptive type, he'll notice among the other things the purple vest and the small clan Zimus symbols on it.
Excellent. Seth is a little disheveled, but wearing a fairly decent quality suit, and is kind of nervously fumbling with a set of rosary beads as he observes the bishop approaching and gives a respectful nod towards him. Greetings, Bishop.
You are the one who sent me a message to the sanctuary, correct?
Yes, I have. I am Seth Cardigan.
You're one of the murals. Please, let's have a little walk. You can tell me all about it.
For sure. I gesture for the direction and take about a half step behind the bishop as we walk. I recently came to the city of Zooster shortly before the time that the Archbishop had made the fateful announcement that titles were to be stripped and new titles were available to those who were willing to take it. In this time since arriving in the city, I have gathered some other newer members of our race. As a pack, we've come to be known as the Fireflies. Unfortunately, some of my pack members did not survive the events of the Palla Grande, and one, I believe, has actually defected, or at the very least abandoned his post with the Sword of Cain. So it's been a very tumultuous month in Zooster, I must say.
Who has stepped away from their position in your mind?
The Frenchman, my pack priest. He survived the Palla Grande, but he has not returned to Zooster and has avoided all attempts at contact.
I think I remember seeing him in the bus back. He was missing a leg, so he might be licking his wounds, such as things are.
We shared a haven, and he did not come there to heal, nor did he come for his pets. So
that's a concern then.
Exactly. If he has not committed treason, then I would be most interested in hearing the explanation of his whereabouts in this period of time.
Well, I always advise caution before bringing the word treason about. It usually has some lasting consequences. So, I can understand a young Canaanite might be a little shaken. Well, most Canaanites probably would be a bit shaken with what went down in the Palla Grande, judging from the eyewitness account I heard. It seems I was going to mention that I thought that the Fireflies did very well in their presence at the Palla Grande.
Well,
You had numbers.
yes, we did. So now I have had to reassess who is left of our pack and what needs to be done. I know that KK has been keeping herself busy with tasks for the needs of the city. And I myself am trying to look after what remains of our pack to ensure that we continue to be successful.
That is a good place to be in, all things considered. I'll make this known to yourself as Dactus. I've stated it out loud before, but so that the message isn't diluted. If your pack, or any pack in Zuster City, chooses to appoint a master of ghouls, a person responsible of caretaking and maintaining such specifics and provides the needed material, I will be happy to sculpt a few, let us say, more expendable additions to each pack. War ghouls.
That is very, very gracious, my bishop, though I understand it would probably be fairly necessary, for I hear that there is quite a bit of attention, quite a bit of events going on that would necessitate good defenses of the city.
There is nothing that would in any position not demand for good defenses of the city, no matter what the situation, where the current situation merely means that even those less likely to take such matters seriously have a harder time with disagreeing with me on it.
Point well made. Well, I will keep that in mind for sure, because I am working on assembling ghouls for my pack. So once I have proper members, then getting a war ghoul or two would be very beneficial.
They have a tendency to at least wear down any serious opposition, and they might even actually allow you to sidestep any serious trouble. So, what have the Fireflies been up to? Aside from showing up in great numbers at Palla Grande festivities in New York.
Well, I am attempting to keep an eye on our camouflage, the mortals that we stalk amongst. I learnt quite a bit. My sire was of the Order of Saint Blas, and I agree from what I've seen that it is good to make sure that our camouflage we keep an eye on, keep control of. As we were once rulers in the first city, we should be rulers now. And I know that KK has been shoring up defenses in other areas, obviously not with building war ghouls, but of a more traditional martial methods.
It all adds together for a stronger city. I'll agree. Were you thinking more of the media as the camouflage goes?
I actually think for myself, there's a lot that is obvious. Things like media, police contacts is what a lot of people tend to go for. I think those that most people, mortal and Cainite alike, overlook, those who are the support base of the city, the taxi drivers and the janitors and those that make the wheels turn, are the ones that see and hear more when people think that they are alone.
Those not seen quite so often.
Exactly. Just as some of us, by nature of blood, are used to not being seen or being overlooked frequently.
Very good. Is there any assistance on that side you would prefer?
At this time, my bishop, I don't believe that I have encountered anything that I would need assistance for, but I'm sure that I will seek counsel if I encounter something that is troubling in nature.
Very good. As it pertains to ghouls, I usually recommend all packs to have a few. It's easier to organize mortals to your wish and demand that way. But that is for the packs themselves to decide whether they choose to do it or not. Is there an area I can count on the Fireflies to hold should the city come under threat?
Yes, my bishop. We have started from Trenton and expanded our influence outwards. So at the north point of the city, along the river.
Both sides or just the west side?
At this time, just the west side, but I am making, I am getting things set up to be able to have eyes and ears on both sides.
If memory serves, Blackgate is not claimed by anyone. So if you can show me that you can keep it, it's yours to keep. As far as I am concerned. Norlock is old domain of the 40K, for which I am currently a member of. So I'd advise against expanding to conflicting areas. But I think there is plenty of room for a young pack to expand on without coming to a conflict with any of the older ones.
On the subject of young pack and talking about having need for eyes and ears and defenses, what of our population as it stands? Are we fully staffed, or are we on the lookout for new recruits?
Well, some people might disagree with me on this one, but on a personal notion, if a Cainite chooses to embrace someone into this existence, that's on that Cainite. If a Cainite chooses to invite friends over, that's on that Cainite as well. On them in a free. That falls within your freedom to do as you choose as a pack, as long as you exercise that freedom responsibly. I will not object to seeing a few more people. So in short, yes, recruitment is definitely in order, and I am more inclined to reward people who take steps to that direction.
Understood, my bishop.
Anything else of concern?
You stated that you are currently associating with the 40K pack.
They accepted me as a member. We'll see if the situation lasts.
Who would be the priest of that pack?
I am currently overseeing the duties as a temporary position.
Oh. Okay. I was considering inquiring about with the professor about such duties and responsibilities and rete, but I thought that with the level of responsibility of a bishop, it would be a lot easier to look to another pack to get some training in that. Though if you're assuming those responsibilities, then how many actual priests do we have in the city that aren't already involved in greater things on top of their pack's needs?
There are a few, but I would actually recommend you apply the option of going to the professor for those rete. There is a reason he gained the moniker of Bishop of Spirituality. It is his hat, so to say. It is the area of responsibility I hope most people with aspirations to the religious side of the sect go to first.
All right.
Because it allows us to have a common thread that is shared.
I will carry on with that mindset then. For I have met the professor already, and he seemed fairly open to being willing to share what he knows.
Oh, I am not aware if the professor took this up with yourself or if you have heard it previously. I am of personal opinion that University City is in general neutral territory despite whoever holds actual domain or claims territory, which is the more often used term, in any larger or several areas, because the university is there and there are those of us who have a unique interest in the academia. I hope that those individuals have an opportunity to cooperate, even if their packs might be slightly at odds at times.
All right, that is good to know, my bishop. Now I know that the professor is the bishop of rituals and our spiritual guidance, and I know that the great Wickers is in charge of warfare. So which aspect of our leadership do you keep an eye on?
When the Archbishop recognized my authority, I was recognized as a bishop, nothing more, nothing less.
All right.
Specialists are all well and good, but I do believe occasionally even the specialists among our ranks need assistance.
Well, from our conversation this evening, it sounds like you are skilled in both war and in ritual, so I'm sure you have the ability to provide insight in the right areas.
I allow me to put it this way. I will, in most situations, uh, acknowledge that a Bishop of Spirituality should have the first say into the matters of spirituality of the sect in this city. And I will, in most cases, see that once we are at war and actively operating on it, Riker is perhaps the first person I'd prefer to be leading the assaults.
All right.
I'll grant the specialists their fields of specialty where I recognize such to exist.
Well, thank you for meeting with me, Bishop Bratos. And now that you know what my PAC's focus is, should you have any need, you know how to get in touch. We'll be more than happy to assist the city.
Well, you were polite enough to include your contact information so we can be in touch. The securing of the riverside is a good place to begin. And if you can make that stick, I will be very impressed. Also, the recruitment, I fully support you on that field. If you see someone with potential, well, with New York so close by, I doubt we'll have any problems of getting people blooded. Thank you for your time, Doctus.
Thank you. May Cain favor you in the future.
Kane's blessings unto you. And Murdoch will walk off, activating his obfuscate at an opportune moment.
Okay. And Seth Cardigan slinks off into the shadows and heads in the direction of his area that he's been challenged to take control of. And thank you for those that have viewed this video, and good evening, and we will meet again the next time our anti-heroes proceed into the night. Have a good night.